Okay, well, welcome to all who bothered to come. I think just about everybody here has an interest in what we're going to talk about. The question is whether we want to do any of it as an executive session or why not?
I don't have a particular opinion. Don't,
If we don't have to.
right?
No, we don't have to. There's a lot to talk about, and this meeting is being recorded, so even though somebody's not here, it doesn't, anybody who wants to will be able to observe what we have accomplished and said. And I'm okay with it being open.
Right.
So we have a whole web of stuff to unravel here with regard to the property next door and the possibility of our. There's the sticky stuff with through the roll in it before and now. And there's also the well, I briefed everybody on where we were in the scheme of things, but it appears that Raphael was under the impression, based on a conversation that I had with Bintu, that he could go ahead and have the house removed because he had a contract, and he signed the contract and he mailed the check evidently to the company, which is in the mail. But our offer, as I reminded Bintu, was to an as-is offer with the house still there. So complicates things a little bit that if he goes ahead and removes it, because then there's no possibility of us chasing money
Right.
to remove it, if we want to do that. So
Well, he hasn't gotten the permit yet to demolish it.
that's correct, right?
And what did you say? I remember reading your stuff about the grant. It didn't seem like it was a terribly likely option.
Well, I think
It's possible, right?
the grant's still possible. It's a really tight timeline, but it sounded like that it might just complicate things a little bit more. Because one of the paperwork, but also just the actual demolition of the structure, if it was done by the town, there has to be more checks and balances for the town to do rather than a private party demolishing it. Isn't that what you guys?
Basically.
Yeah.
Did you get a hold of Nintendo or find out if it's gonna make any difference?
Yeah, the prevailing rate. Prevailing rate, to make it a public works project, prevailing rate adds $5,000 to the estimate that the low bidder gave us.
Oh, wow.
And prevailing rate is prevailing rate, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it would add $5,000 to all of the estimates.
That's probably fair. It looks like it may do the same thing for any town ordered demolition if we end up doing them.
Town ordered.
Yeah, like we
I
ordered.
I understand what that word means.
Yes, but I mean, if it came to, we ordered it demolished. He has 90 days to do it. If he doesn't do it and we do it, then it's gonna cost us $5,000 more than it would if they did it. That's in
So
every
it's not-
instance.
It's only if they don't do it and we have to do it.
Right,
Not automatic.
Right,
Yes.
not,
but that would probably be true in every instance that we pursue. Because we're looking at this was just the first of several.
I know.
Gonna do that. So that may be the case in every instance. If they don't do it, it's gonna cost $5,000 more.
right.
The good news is, we can get it back. If it ends up as a lien on the property. According to Guy, the county is obligated to make us whole whenever the property sells, the liens need to be cleared. Which is the way it had been in the past, and I was under the impression that had changed. But evidently, it's still the case.
So the county would give it back because of the lien?
Well, if it ends up as a lien, then, you know, and if the county ends up owning it, which is to say, if,
Mm.
as often happens when you demolish a property like this on a property that's worth, it's often the case that the owners walk away rather than pay the taxes
Right.
and try to sell the property because they can't get as much out of it as it costs to do the demolition.
Right.
In which case it ends up going for being foreclosed upon for non-payment of taxes. When the foreclosure is implemented and the property is sold, then the town would recover the cost of the demolition because the liens are covered by the county.
That doesn't really apply in this case, so we need to look at this case.
Well, we hope it doesn't, because, well, if he goes ahead and does it,
Right.
then we don't have to. So I guess the first thing is, are we okay with them doing it? And that's foregoing the opportunity to chase money, which would cost us more to do also if we were to demolish it ourselves. But there are also constraints, which you could maybe speak to, with what we can do with that property if we were to use CDBG funds to acquire it.
Right, I mean, yeah, what I.
Not to acquire it, to demolish it.
Right.
Yeah, so the easiest way forward is to demolish it with CDBG funds, then let it sit for 5 years and then do something with it. But Charlie Filiani's he manages CDBG for the state, and said that the town can use it for other things, but it has to meet the national objectives of HUD. So a town couldn't turn around and sell it for market rate housing, for example. Affordable housing would be okay. I asked about maybe sewer infrastructure, if it could have that. And he said, that's interesting. He said, possibly it would bring up a lot of other questions around environmental suitability. But so no, I mean, the property can be used for other things and for, you know, change of use. It's just, it's not a given right off the bat. So it does kind of complicate it in that town could use those funds to demolish, but it's not entirely clear without a plan in place of exactly what it could be converted to for that property.
So I guess I'd like to know what our collective feeling is regarding whether it's worthwhile even entertaining the possibility of going after the CDBG funding if it were an option. Or we would just say, too much trouble, not enough gain.
Doesn't seem like it's a sure thing that it would benefit what we want the property for. And it's not even, you know, how much it would save, especially since we know now it would cost us more if we did it ourselves.
Mhm.
No, so I think if there was a good chance we could get the money, that'd be worth doing that.
I think there is a good chance, isn't that right?
It's hard to say.
Would you bet your job on it?
Yeah, right. But no, I would not bet my job on it. No, I guess it just makes it more complicated, and maybe for what I think is what we've learned since is that, you know, when the town goes after CDBG money for $500,000 to help homeowners, that's worthwhile.
Right.
For $30,000, I think Guy raised that, is that, you know, is it really worth it to just go after that? And then you're kind of tied up in maybe what you can use the property for. It's not entirely clear. So, you know, after kind of considering that, if Crofty's already also, you know, going to be planning to demolish it, it just might make it an easier and cleanest path forward. I think you said that the cleanest is that he does the demolition and then the town then buys the property that way. Obviously that's more cost on the town to do that without CDBG funds.
But that was Guy's suggestions, the easiest and cleanest if we.
So we purchase it after it's demolished.
Right.
Yeah,
Or a
Or at
new
least
appraisal?
Or at least that's contingent on
Is there gonna be a new appraisal?
It hasn't been talked about.
Well,
But what has been talked about is cost plus. Which is to say he's under contract. He actually, according to Bintu, got a discount of like $1,700 off the originally quoted price. For some reason, I don't remember what the reason was, but you know, just like for him, it was like 27.5 to get it torn down under contract, plus the cost of air monitoring, which brings it back up to 29 again. But that's what the expectation is on his part, is that we would pay him that cost. 29 plus the cost of getting a permit, you know, and plus 28. Which is what we agreed to buy it as is.
I'm just having trouble thinking about paying him, reimbursing him for demolishing a building that he was ordered to demolish a while ago. I don't know, what do other people think? I mean, it's appraised at what?
Is it 11?
Something
Something
like,
like that.
I forget what was it appraised as?
Oh, appraised 26.
26.
Yeah, I thought you
Right.
meant assessed, but no, appraised 26. Which, I don't know if I mentioned it, but you know, I asked Colleen Cowan to review.
You did say that.
And she said, well, it's not too
Right.
far off.
Right. Right.
So it would have been cheaper years ago, but it's, you know, property values have come up.
Right.
Well, I mean, we were willing a couple of weeks ago to buy it as is
Yeah.
for 28.
And then figure out how to demolish it.
And then, yeah, right. So.
We don't know how much it's gonna cost him to demolish it, right?
Well, then we do.
He
That's
does
what-
it at the
We do?
contract.
Yeah,
What's on the contract?
there is no contract. Well,
He's
you
got a
mean his
contract.
contract with
His
the company,
contract.
his contract.
Yes.
Right.
Evidently 27.5
Plus 5.
plus 1,500.
27.
I just said what Steve said.
No, that was how much
monitoring
it
the
would
air.
cost if we did it.
Yeah,
So
the air monitoring
27
is required.
But we were just talking about buying it as is. You were still talking about as
No.
is means not demolished to me.
No,
No,
I'm
demolish.
talking, Leslie asked
How much is it gonna cost?
how
him?
much is it gonna cost him to take it out?
Oh,
If
20.
we did it ourselves, it would be 5,000 more
Right,
if we did not
gotcha.
have a grant.
So
I just picked that one.
27,500.
Plus
Plus.
about 1,500 for the air monitoring. We could break up to 29 again,
Yeah,
which is cheaper than we could do it by
Right.
at least $5,000. Our lowest quote was 30, wasn't it?
so it's like. Huh?
So the updated quote that I got from the low bidder that includes prevailing rate is $34,000.
Mhm.
So it is $5,000.
Yeah, it went from 29 to 34.
Yeah, the original one was 29.
Yeah. And it looks like he's not looking to is it Contendo.
Contento out of Portland.
Yes. He got, there's another one, PP, G or G, something.
LCG
Maybe that's not right.
out of Vesta.
Yeah,
Their bid without prevailing rate was 29,700.
okay.
So add 5,000 to that.
Yeah, but evidently he got a better deal on it for some reason.
And they're both, long-term reputable demolition contractors that have done work all over Tompkins County for multiple years.
And your guess was about 1,500 for air monitoring, right?
I have been told that air monitoring will range between 15 and 2,500.
so the part we don't know is the price that he'll want after, if he does the demolition.
Well, I mean, we do.
You know, he has a signed contract with a demolition person.
Yes,
He's already tied in the price for demolishing the house if he does it.
For the money that we pay him,
We know that, yes.
comes out,
No,
No, I mean, I say
It's
he's,
in addition to the 20.
yeah, he's
To
willing
buy.
to
That's what I was
proceed.
asking, and
It's
that
a
is,
addition, so that-
otherwise it's zero, he meant nothing.
Well, yeah, my money, you lose money because you
You lose,
pay,
right.
pay for the property, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to figure out where we are on
Yeah.
that.
No, I mean, we talked, you know, what would be fair. I talked with Bintu about, you know, what would be fair, and I thought it would be fair, you know, to basically treat the demolition and removal as a cost to us or a cost to them about the same. Doesn't really matter. So, you know, it would be fair for us to pay him, you know, the agreed upon price for an as is plus the cost,
Okay,
his
that's the
cost
part
of
that-
removal.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
fair.
So I mean, there was some talk at the last meeting, say, well, you know, there's nothing to say you couldn't ask even more. Well, yeah, you could, but then why would we buy it? So, so he's proceeding, assuming he does, on the assumption that we're willing to pay him, 28 plus the cost of, you know, demolition and removal. And I
So
told, what I told
57,000.
Bintu was,
Right.
that seems reasonable to me. We've talked about it being reasonable, but the board has never agreed to that as a basis for a sale. So, I mean, she was going to, well, she approached him and asked him about, you know, is that okay? To have him make an offer to us to sell it to us, basically an offer to sell for that combined total. And for us, that I could then have us vote on today. And she spoke with him about it. And, yeah, and I guess the preference is that we offer to buy it for the total of $28,000 plus what it cost him to demolish, rather than have it come from him, from his side. Either way, the question before us is, are we willing to do that? Either as we're offering that, or he offers to sell to us for that. It's same difference, pretty near as I can tell.
The only thing that made a difference is the possibility of that grant. Otherwise, it's cheaper for us if he tears it down than we tear it down.
Yeah,
The
that's
only
true.
option that might make it better is the grant, but that's not clear that it will happen, that it can happen. We'll get the money and then we can do anything. And I'm not sure
What it's worth chasing.
we want to take the time. Or that we want to wait 5 years before we can do anything and have it behind. People realize it's sitting there for doing nothing, even though we spent this money. That seems somewhat worse.
Mhm.
Well, you can't do nothing for 5 years. It's just limited in what you can do.
Right,
Well, we couldn't do
Seemed
things
like there
that,
were
right, we could
items
make
we
it
could
into we could put a gazebo on it, temporary gazebo, I mean, yeah.
Well, the way things move, we maybe probably wouldn't do anything. for
this
5
is
years.
true,
Right,
even if you were
exactly,
proceeding to do
exactly.
it, it might take 5 years to get all the ducks lined up.
Right,
What are your thoughts, Catherine? You haven't spoken yet.
well, it's the same, I agree that, I don't want to miss the chance of getting it, one, but the other thing is, Greg's time is it has value also
Mhm.
in the CBDG grant. So I don't know how much that adds. I mean, if we look at it that way, that adds price also. And I don't know whether, I'm not so sure that we shouldn't ignore the staff time.
I absolutely agree.
So. And there isn't a guarantee of getting a grant. I mean, it sounds good, but there's not a guarantee. So,
Right, there's uncertainty and there's associated costs.
Hmm?
There's uncertainty and associated
Right.
costs. Both to apply and administer if you
Right.
get it. And then there's all the strings attached to it if you do get it.
right,
All of which suggests forget about it.
although which what?
Suggests forget about it.
Yeah. That's sort of where I am on it. I hear you
I'm-
talking about the grant part, so I get
Well,
that.
I mean, a lot of this feels like a game to me and I'm getting a little tired of it. I think he should tell us what he wants for it and then we agree. I don't think we should be offering to him, coming up with a price and then we pass it on to him and see if he likes it.
yeah.
If he wants to sell the property, tell us what he wants for it and we'll decide whether we'll buy it.
Well, I think we have that now.
And we don't have that. written.
28
I don't have it in writing. We don't
28
know what
plus
the
the cost
contract
of-
really says. And I want, he needs to say what he wants to sell it for.
Well, I agree with that. He did. He didn't give us a number.
I
Well,
want a number.
I got, well, I mean, the latest information I got from Bintu was 27.5 for the demolition plus the cost of air monitoring. So that gives you pretty close, that you're up to 29 plus 28.
Right.
Add those two numbers together and you're pretty close. If it costs him more like $2,500 for the air monitoring, then he'll want that difference also as an additional part.
That makes it
But,
59, basically 60.
yeah, right. We were willing,
What?
said we were willing.
We were willing to buy the property and then deal with the demolition.
But
Yeah.
we realize
What I
that
remember.
costs more.
I'm not saying today, I'm saying in the
Yeah,
in the
right,
past.
right.
So I think he wants to sell the property. He should tell us exactly, he should give us, what he wants.
Yeah,
And then we either say yes or no. I don't think we should be making the move to make an offer and then see what he says. I'm just sort of tired of it.
Well, we could make the offer contingent upon him going ahead and proceeding with the demolition as soon as he agrees to the offer.
Yeah, right.
Because I don't think we don't want it to be an opportunity for foot dragging. I think the reason he went ahead with it was
It's gonna
because we
foot dragging.
both agreed, we thought, I came into the last board meeting with the expectation that we would want that house out of there. One way or another, this year. So either he took it out or we took it out. And if we couldn't agree on a sale, then we would have it removed. That's why we got the quotes for doing it. We're all poised to do it. And then the board threw a curveball and said, what about, well, it's actually Greg who threw the curveball. Said, we
Greg's
might be able to get a grant. It said, oh, okay, time out, wait a minute. Maybe we should not jump on getting the house out of there, and we should look at the possibility of buying it as is. So that's what, and pause the action here while we explored that possibility. But having now pretty much dismissed that as a possibility, I'm back to where we were before. We'd like to have the house out of there sooner than later. He was willing to proceed on that and did on that assumption and signed the contract to take it out this year. Now, I said right away, because we're running out of time to do it this year.
And we have that number.
And we have that number. So it's not like he's going to say, I think I can get another $10,000 out of you.
Oh, you don't think so?
How would he?
But then we have his offer. It's whether we accept his offer or not.
can you show us that, show us a contract or?
No,
No, it's in the mail to the company.
the contract for demolition and removing me.
Yeah.
Right. I think you're referring to a contract for sale.
Yes,
Right.
Oh.
No, there has nothing, as of yet, nothing is.
that's what
right.
Leslie's saying. So there's no guarantee that, the
No,
only guarantee we get is the place comes down. And that's something. If he said he was gonna take it down, it's down. That's something.
well, if he.
But it's also
proceeds. Well,
open
he's,
to-
he's gambling. Because,
Mhm.
the probability that he can get $60,000 for that place after the demolition is slim to none, in my opinion. Unless you
Right.
wait another 10 years for the market to come up, but as often happens with these things, it costs so much to demolish it. The only way anybody could come out ahead on that deal is if they did it themselves, which is what that other guy did with those other two properties.
Yeah,
Because then you avoid that $30,000 cost of taking it out because of the asbestos content.
right.
Then you can come out ahead. But, to pay $30,000 to have that house removed, he's not gonna be able to get $30,000 worth of added value to the property from removing the house. So he's banking on us being willing to follow through and pay him cost of demolition, plus what we'd agreed upon before, 28. Well, you have to come up.
Would it behoove the owner to move quickly on this because he's going to be owing, he just owed school tax on it, now he's going to be owing county tax?
Mhm.
Yeah, he's owing taxes on $11,000 property.
So it's not as
It's
bad.
not like it's gonna be a huge, yes, exactly. No.
Okay.
Yeah, he's making money on this deal, yeah.
He's definitely making money on this deal. But we agreed to that amount of money to be made on this deal with that back and forth negotiation that ended at 28.
We voted on that, and that's where he makes the deal. He doesn't make any money on the demolition. We pay him what
He
he.
lose money.
Well, I mean, the only way he would lose money is if you go ahead and does the demolition and we don't follow through.
Right.
And pay him for which is kind of what somebody in the audience was suggesting last time, and we do, well, let him go ahead and do it, and then we can get it for less. And he'll make less money, yeah. Well, yeah, we could do that kind of screw him like that way. I see it that way. I don't think that's particularly fair, but if we were willing to buy it for 28 as is, I think we should be willing to pay 28 plus his cost for getting the house out of there.
Yeah, we were willing to pay 28 and take down the house, because if we bought it for 28, house has to come down. So we're talking about something that the amount of money we already agreed to. The only change was the possibility of the grant. That's the only thing that really changed.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm not in favor of doing the grant search. I think that we're better off not doing that.
I'm concerned about the grant. I'm not, if it was a sure thing, then no question. But
Well,
since it's not,
I'm uncomfortable.
Right, you want to vote on
Well, I'm
it? Get
uncomfortable.
off the table?
I just want to say this thing, that I'm uncomfortable with the idea of taking a grant, getting the grant, and then just waiting and doing what we want to with it anyway. And I mean, I don't think that's a good look. So that's the part about the grant that kind of bothers me.
Okay, well, let's get it off the table. I move that we not pursue, under whatever circumstances might present, the opportunity of having that house be removed using a CDBG grant.
Okay, I'll second that.
More discussion about it? Mariah, there?
Yep.
Yes, to not pursue the CDBG grant for 1840.
Right.
Okay, great. Connors,
Yes,
Hunter,
Yes,
Woodworth,
yes,
Gagnon.
Once I give that to him, he can.
Okay, so that's off the table.
Gagnon, you said yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
I move we purchase the house for $28,000 and pay for the demolition based on that contract. Not changing that value
based on the contract that,
that he has
has.
with
That he
the
has
demolition
signed it.
the
company.
number in there.
Yeah.
We would need to put the number in there.
Yeah.
in the
yeah.
motion.
Yeah,
Plus the air monitoring.
Right.
plus what?
Air
We're
monitoring,
monitoring.
which is in addition to that contract.
So we're
That's what
saying
he's saying. What is the
$57,000.
What?
So we're saying $57,000.
Yeah, we're saying-
29 for demolition and 28.
It's 29, assuming the air monitor comes in at $1,500, which is the low end of the range that Steve has. 1,500 to 2,500.
Yeah.
So it could be just $1,000 more.
Well,
Okay,
I'd
so-
say low range, $57,000.
$57,000 in the motion.
Are you seconding that motion?
Well, I'm hearing two
Because I'm not-
things. I'm hearing,
It's a
It's got
different one, it's got a number in it.
We just need to second something, and so we can talk about this too.
right, so the motion, could you repeat again?
The motion is to purchase the house for the property we agreed to. The amount we agreed to before is 28,000 plus the cost of demolition based on the contract he has, plus
Based on what?
based on the contractor. Based on the contract for demolition, the current contractor for demolition that the owner has now, plus $1,500 for error monitoring.
Have you seen that contract? Do you know that it's signed? Have you seen it, Steve?
No.
No.
So that's a, okay, well, we need to get to a discussion.
Well, you know, if she hadn't told me that they got a deal and they can do it for 27.5 instead of 29, we would have assumed that we're using the same contractor because we're talking contento both ways. And that was what that was the basis of the previous discussion. So the fact that they've been forthcoming about telling us that, hey, I can do it a little bit less, speaks a lot about, you know, they're dealing in good faith here.
We have the
So
number.
how much can they do it for? 27?
27.5
Oh, okay.
plus air monitor,
Plus the ear monitoring. I
which
got
could
you.
be
Okay,
1,500 to 2,500.
I'd put it at 1,500.
29,000.
So you
Say we just stick to that.
so you're gonna hold him to 1,500 if he has to pay more. It's
Correct.
his
There's
expense.
something on his that he may have some cost, and that's a good deal for him.
Are we discussing still? Are we to make?
So
the
Pat's
motion
motion
to
is
correct-
basically 29,000.
No, no, that's not what she said.
No, she
She said
said
cost of
27.5
demolition.
plus
I think we need to-
1,500.
I think we need to say it in the motion.
I did. I just restated it and I said the cost of the contract was 27.5 plus 1,500.
Okay,
For
it sounded like part of the discussion. It didn't sound like changing the motion.
I changed the
So the
motion,
motion is changed.
correct.
So
Yeah, I still have a problem with that. That's the low ball part of the air thing. And if they won't do it, then are we not back to the drawing board again?
Yep.
I'm uncomfortable with that. I think we need to put the range in there.
I'm not.
I would go so far as to say for what it costs him to do it. Without even putting a number in. Because this is, I mean, that's what she told me. I presume it's correct, but you know.
Well, and if we, at the time of,
Hmm.
let's say that we go with that way. There has to be proof that that is what he actually paid and it's not padded, and it's not, you know, some little, I don't.
Why would we expect that, given what we know about from the 4 quotes that we've got, all of which start at that level and go up?
Well, then it can't, then 1,500 is not enough extra. That's all I'm saying, because of what I.
It might not be.
Right, and if we end up saying we have to come back again and give, every time we come back, there's another chance for somebody to him to drop out of it. That's what I'm concerned about with the number. I would say that, and if we didn't put the number, that we say the 28 plus the 15, the 27, whatever, plus the 15, or no.
27.5 plus
and
air monitoring.
With our.
Up to.
Yeah, but I'm saying we need to see at the time that we hand over the money, we need to see the actual paid out amount. I mean, I don't think that's terrible to ask.
Oh, no.
No, you can do that if you want. I mean,
And then
you could ask them to, if it were 28 plus the cost of demolition and removal, with documentation for the costs.
That's what I.
Well, you know, that's one way of doing it, and I'd be okay with that, and probably, I suspect he would be as well. To say, you know, show us where you spent whatever it is that you spend, and we'll cover it.
I'm not comfortable with that. I want to be sure that we say first off that the cost of demolition is going to be 27.5. I don't want to have that change. That is supposed to be fixed at this point in time.
If assuming that the information I got was correct, that would be true.
And since we haven't seen any signed contract.
Right, so I'm going on hearsay as it is, but you know, that's what she told me. And she hasn't showed up yet, so I can't ask her. I was expecting her to be here so we could ask these questions about to her. Or if Raphael came, that would work too, but neither one of them is here.
I foresee the possibility of yet again other negotiations that we're, and not getting anywhere. I mean, I don't want that, I don't want that part.
I
And I
feel like
hear-
we're being held hostage. I just, anyway, well, just vote on it and then see where it goes. But I want to approve it for specific figures, not a range. That's my opinion. That we offer, the 28 and then the 29 for demolition. Which he should have done anyway, I mean.
Mhm.
I'm not sure.
What?
We haven't voted
Can
on.
I-
it.
We don't have
Can
a
I repeat the
motion.
resolution?
Well, no, it hasn't been seconded to, but if
I
you want,
think,
I thought you did, no?
no.
Oh.
Mariah, what did you just say?
Sean.
I was gonna repeat the resolution, but I also don't have anybody seconding it, so we're
Right.
good. You guys do your thing.
So I mean, Pat made a motion, none of us has seconded yet, so that means we're open to other alternative proposals. Or we could second that one and either amend it or vote on it.
I propose that we offer him the 29 for demolition and 28 for purchase of the property. Or $57,000.
Just a lot, like
Are
what
you
you said.
making a motion?
Yeah, that's a motion.
Like that one better.
I didn't hear a second.
Second.
Nope, nope.
Okay. I'm nervous about it, sorry.
I mean, if he wants to dick around some more, that's all right.
What do you mean it's all right? What do we do?
Well,
That's my
the,
word.
the leverage we have is we could, if he doesn't proceed with demolition, we could proceed with demolition. And then it becomes,
A lien on
the
property.
property. But if we turn around and buy the property, we're not going to get $34,000 more for it than what we paid for it. You'll still want 28 for it if we take the house out. And we agreed to pay for it, 28 for it. As is.
And he did
Right.
not sign that agreement that he would take 28, or he did.
What happened with that? Right, because he opted to proceed with the demolition. Because at least, there's a little secondhand, because I haven't spoken to him.
Well, that's ridiculous
That's
for
a
us to be
joke.
doing this, actually, without anything, just. We're gambling.
Yeah,
And he's, everybody's doing this, so the idea of giving the 57. Maybe that stops that gambling. But if the cost of the demolition and the additional
You're-
monitoring that Steve mentioned. We don't even know, I mean, we don't know that won't change, or do we?
right, something
That
like. change in there.
1,500,
Steve said 1,500 to 2,500.
right,
I
see,
realize the difference is $1,000, which is considering we're taking 50,000, 7,000 to start with is silly.
so I
So we could put it at,
58.
move it up 1,000.
If you want to put a number in, I suppose just say the cost.
Rather not.
Mhm.
That's even riskier.
Well, Leslie wants a cost, I mean, maybe that's where she wants a price in it, right?
Yeah, I want 57. Enough is enough. I mean, he's, anybody, he knows he's got us by the, what? It's, we want the property, and if he demolished it, who's gonna give him $60,000 for that property?
Well, I mean, I'm guessing that there would be somebody who would. I mean, that's my opinion, the way things are,
Yeah.
somebody would. I mean, they have to start all over with all the mitigations they have to do for that piece of land. And
Yeah.
do we even know, whether the well, do we know anything about the well?
We don't know anything about the well, what type of wastewater system there is. My guess would be it's an old cesspool, probably not a modern septic system.
Right,
Um,
right. So that's an added cost when we get around to it.
Yeah.
It might be,
What do you mean
depending on what you
might
do
be?
with it.
well, it
Oh,
depends,
you
yeah,
mean
it
what-
depends on what you do with the property. I mean,
Right.
if something was to be built there for town use, then I would recommend a new septic system go
Me
in.
too.
The well,
Unless they do,
the
sure.
well, if we could locate it, could certainly be tested and go from there, but. You know, is it an old hand dug well or a driven casing, a shallow well?
We don't
I
have
don't-
any
I
of that
don't-
information?
No idea.
Huh.
The only thing we do know is that the aquifer is not that far down, and we also have a high groundwater
It
condition.
just seems kind of strange that we're talking about buying a property, and we don't even know where that stuff is. That, I'm just
Probably
saying,
because there's no intent to use that stuff. It would just be abandoned,
Correct, right.
well,
would be the smart thing to do.
Right,
Abandon it,
right.
and start
So
over.
it's always
Maybe,
my
yeah,
assumption
maybe.
that what is there is too old to be of any use. Safe.
Yes, depending on what we use it for, we could connect it to the well we've got.
Right, if,
He's gonna
in
what?
my mind,
Yeah.
in my mind, for what it's worth,
You
if
should be able to
that
find it.
property was, merged with this property,
Mhm.
make it all one piece,
Oh, cool.
then that, cause if the town owns it, it comes off the tax rolls anyway.
Right,
So it doesn't make sense to have a separate
That's a
parcel.
good idea.
You could then, if something were to be built there for town use, you could most likely run a water line to our existing well.
mhm.
You would probably have to put in its own septic system, which you would have the ability to put in between the two
Property.
structures if a
Yeah.
structure was built there.
Yeah, true.
Cause it would be too far to attach it to
It's a long
the
way.
Yes.
system.
You could pump to it, but
You probably could.
I don't know if it'd be.
But
Doing it.
That's not my design forte, that, you know, health department could answer that question, but.
Yeah, that's,
But also, I mean, we might put in sewers, you
yeah, might,
know? Mhm.
that's,
Someday.
that's an, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, that these are all, I think Steve's assumption is probably the best place to start, which is
Yeah.
that we're not assuming that there's a functional septic system or well,
Right.
Right,
it's just a piece of property.
May I make another suggestion?
Sure.
Let me get this straight here. If you make an offer for the agreed upon $28,000 plus the cost of demolition, plus the cost of air monitoring, which is unknown, but we do have a price range. Word the offer so that it would cover the highest cost of air monitoring that we are aware of.
Mhm.
But require that receipts be provided for the demolition, for the air monitoring. So your offer would be not to exceed contingent upon receipts provided. That way, he gets paid what he has into it for the demolition and the air monitoring, plus what you've agreed to purchase the property for.
And we know there's not gonna be more.
And you know it's not gonna be more because you put the not to exceed clause in there.
Mhm.
There's many construction contracts that are written and
Mhm.
executed like that. The price will be this, but we realize there are unseen contingencies, so that it will be not to exceed price.
And the only change in the motion is going from 57 to 58. If it was a huge difference, $1,000. When you're talking 57,000 is a small percent.
I don't know
I
how
don't-
our legal advisor would feel about that particular wording, but
That's the wording I want,
I
but
don't
yeah.
think it's unreasonable to
So-
expect him to pay $1,000 for
So
demolition.
it's up to 58,000. Yeah, 58,000.
Yeah, up to.
Contingent upon getting exact costs,
Right, well,
receipts for exact costs.
right, so it becomes 28,000 plus the cost of demolition and removal, not to exceed a total of 58. Did I get that right?
Correct.
So it could be less. We hope there's less, because it depends on how the
It won't be
market.
less if that's what you
Hmm?
put in.
It would be less if it turns out to be.
Well,
If it turns out to be less.
Well-
We're not agreeing to pay 58 for it. It could be 57 if it
Right.
comes off at 57.
Right, it depends on what they get, what the bill
What it
they
actually
get
costs.
for the air. At any rate, he's not getting any money out of this because it's a receipt
out of
from,
the demolition part.
Right,
it's also the air monitoring receipt. That's separate.
That's all
separate
part,
costs.
same to me.
They're separate. two
I
separate-
know they are, but they're above the price of the buying the thing
I know,
from
but the
him.
difference from here is 1,000 to 57 to 58,000.
yeah.
I'm still concerned about that, can't we put in that we want to see we
Yeah.
need to see the receipts for everything?
Yeah, that's what,
Contingent
I
upon
know, but-
receiving the receiving.
Okay,
receipt,
so
yes.
let's say it's $58,100. We just blew it.
No, he has to pay $100.
Oh, he has to pay the.
Yes,
not
yes.
to exceed price means we'll pay up to that.
We pay, that doesn't mean it doesn't cost that much, but he's saying that's the standard right now, that he knows that standard range, so it's highly likely. So if it's $100 more, it might cost him $100.
So
That
it's
sure as hell
1,000.
isn't much money.
Yeah, if that's the way that can work, then I'm okay with that, but I'm saying I feel a little uncomfortable, but.
So it would be saying up to 58,000 contingent upon the receipt, the actual cost based on the receipts that they give
Mhm.
us.
So it's $28,000 plus the cost of demolition and removal. Not to exceed 58,000
Total,
total, right?
yeah.
Should you say it like or 58, whichever is lower?
No, it
So there's
says
a contingent meaning that, right?
contingent upon. Up,
What I-
it should be up to 58,000 contingent upon receipts for the actual costs.
Yeah,
for the-
what is it, not to exceed or up to? It's a-
Whichever is lower, correct. Right,
So the deal is 28,000 plus the demo costs, but up to, the total for that being up to 58,000. Not to exceed, to my mind, says the same thing.
It is,
Yeah.
not to exceed.
Who made the motion?
You guys.
Was it-
okay.
So you want the motion is now
Connors.
modified no, I thought it was Leslie's motion, this last one.
Now it's different.
Well, no, unless well, it can be if you withdraw your motion when we restate it.
I'm not gonna, no, somebody else can do it, because I'm not,
You have to withdraw.
Okay, I did it.
being a jerk.
Who's the second? You seconded it. Right?
We're starting over.
Yeah.
It's my
Yeah, but
motion from the
something has to be
beginning,
withdrawn.
starting from scratch. She withdrew hers, so
She
that's
did
off the
withdraw
table.
it.
I'll withdraw my first one because I don't remember what the hell it was.
Yeah, okay. All right, so Jake, if you get that, Mariah? Motion with withdraw, new motion is.
Hold on.
Right,
Okay, no. Okay, so the resolution on the floor is to purchase the 1840 for 28,000 plus the cost of demolition and removal of the house not to exceed a total of 58,000 contingent on demolition and air monitoring receipts.
have a lot going on.
okay, that sounds like what we want to do.
And who is moving that?
I will.
Pat moved it,
Everything,
I'll second it.
but yeah. You have house plans, like, what's going on with that? Okay, okay.
I think that
Everything's
this is penny wise and pound foolish right now, to not, to.
I think
worry.
we got the faces covered.
If you think this covers it. But
The only thing that's unknown is what Steve had said, and he said that the current information that he knows now is 1,500 to 2,500. So we're basing it on that information we know now.
I'm bothered by taking the lowest range of that. I'm
Not,
sorry.
we're
It's not.
not, we just changed it.
Strange.
Well,
I
it's-
just took
yeah,
the
but that's
higher
in our,
range.
it's in
No,
it.
it's not.
still.
It's
I
changed.
changed the motion.
I know, but I still think it's too low. I think you only added 1,000 and we're talking about
Well,
20, they
2,000.
picked the
No.
upper range.
the
He
range
said
was-
1,500, the other range is 2,500, difference is 1,000, so I added $1,000. It's the top of his range.
Yeah,
It's up to the 20.
Yes, yes.
Sorry.
yeah.
Yes.
So
I have a lot
it
of,
admits of the possibility of it being $2,500 for the air monitoring.
right.
And it assumes that he then got the deal that I was told, that you can get the demo done for 29.
Yep.
27, well, 29 up to 27.5. And if it's not, then, we don't have a deal, but we're putting together an offer here, basically.
Well, back to Leslie's, why are we making the offer? But anyway,
But we're not making the offer. We're confirming the offer that he was already given us.
then
No,
don't
he's
use.
saying
those
make an
terms.
offer and he'll respond. That's
Yeah,
what.
That's what he
said.
keeps
In
saying.
effect, yeah. I mean, that's
Let's
essentially
just
what,
vote. Why don't we
that's-
just vote?
that's what okay.
Call a question.
All right. All right, let's vote.
Okay, let me just read this again. To purchase 1840 Danby Road for 28,000 plus the cost of demolition and removal not to exceed a total of 58,000 contingent on demolitioning and air monitoring receipts.
Yep.
Very good. Connors,
No,
Hunter,
just
Hunter,
I'm waffling.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm worried, but especially if if there's.
what?
I think that, all right, I'll say yes, reluctantly.
Woodworth,
Yes.
Gagnon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So there's still room for waffling or quibbling here. What's your concern?
That it'll be a few different dollars and he'll come back and say, so I'm gonna sell it to somebody else.
Not a fat chance.
Nobody else will buy it. I don't.
Well, that's what everybody says, but that's the same thing as what Warren said about when data centers and everything. Every time we say that could never happen, that's exactly what towns and people say
Mhm.
after it happens. I never thought it would happen to us.
Mhm.
No, let's just see what he does.
This isn't as bad as a data center, but.
No.
Maybe that's what to put.
Oh, yeah, with a mini data center
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And then he do a tower, yeah.
Okay, I mean, I think that's something I could to bring back to him. If, now the only other consideration is, if he doesn't follow through with the demolition, do we press the matter and give him a deadline?
He already has a deadline.
He has a
already
deadline,
gave-
doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, but he did, but we're long past that deadline. So the question is, at what point do we act if he doesn't? This is the only,
What is we
this is the only
act?
leverage we have in this deal.
He's past the deadline.
He's already passed the deadline, but we have not acted. We could act. At what point do we act if he does not? Is my question.
We should already act.
Well, Leslie, that's then and this is now.
Well.
Yeah, here we
you know,
are. We're
too late for
we're
that.
about to
Good
make him
job.
an offer. And if he balks for whatever reason, then where are we?
Right,
Do we then say, okay, we'll have the house removed? Because
Right.
that's the leverage that we've got. And then we'll talk later about what you're willing to sell it to us for.
okay, wait, because if we have it removed at the cost that it cost,
It's gonna cost us 34 to do it,
right,
right?
then if he
There'll
sells
be a
it,
lien
do
on the
we
property.
we don't, do we have first dibs on getting the 34 back?
Well, it will be a matter of some discussion, won't it? Because it's gonna cost him way more.
Yeah.
It's gonna cost, he's gonna get less money out of it if we have to take the house out.
It's a lien on his
How do you
property.
figure?
It's a lien on his property.
It's a
the
lien on
cost,
his
Right, the
property
lien, yeah, but
Which means he can't sell his property to somebody else.
until he
He
pays. the
can.
lien.
somebody will pay that. Somebody might pay it.
They might, yeah.
Well, somebody's gonna pay what? What's it gonna turn out to $60-some-odd thousand for it?
Mhm, right.
Yes, I'm saying somebody will.
I'm saying that's highly unlikely,
I agree with Pat. I think highly unlikely.
based on. his
Okay, then
talking
let's
with
get back to
market
what do we
issues.
do about the demolition order?
Well, yes, that's the point I'm raising right now.
I know, so I
Yeah.
interrupted the thought.
Because I think
Now
we
I'm
should,
saying-
there should be a,
Yeah,
Should we-
it'll go on later.
it's an offer, a limited time offer, basically. So, we need a deadline with it. Because I don't want to provide an opportunity for this to be strung out here and say, well,
Well, how much time should we give him to respond to this?
couple of days.
Okay,
Mhm.
so a couple days. If he, doesn't respond or he says no, then we need to pursue the demolition order.
Okay. Is that what everybody's agreeable to? Because I want to be able to say that. I want to be able to say, the board voted, and so it should be a motion to proceed with, to contract for the removal of the house if the deal is not consummated. In other words, if we don't get a signed contract to purchase based on these numbers.
And you're gonna give him two days?
How much time you want to give them?
I thought the contract, the time thing was about having him show it, having the demolition process begin. I thought that's because we're past the demolition date. I thought we were talking about demolition date just now.
Yeah, we are.
We are.
But
Well,
she
then-
said, the other thing was the demolition date depends on what accepting, and when he accepts it is 2 days, and then he has to have it demolished. But
No,
we have to be
We don't
realistic.
have a demolition date now.
That would be the demolition date in 2 days, but that's.
Wait.
I think you have to be careful about anything like that when you're talking about getting any work done, any contracting work done.
In this weather, the soft.
Well,
ground-
This weather,
yeah.
just contractors, they're busy. We've called people and they can get there. We can get you in next week. We can get you in.
Right.
So you're talking about a contract, not a date of demolition.
Right.
But he already has a signed contract.
Yeah, but
It sounds like you're gonna go to
But he
him,
doesn't have the demolition permit.
you're gonna go
Right.
to him and say, let us know within 2 days as to whether you accept this offer that we're making. And then if he, in the 2 days, if he says no, or he doesn't answer, the demolition order should be pushed somehow. I don't know how we're gonna do that. Steve would know how to do, I mean, it
Can-
needs to be called up. The old order is expired, so it's
Right.
gone, so we need a new one.
No, I
No.
wouldn't say that. We never rescinded it. Remember, our offer to purchase
if it's-
as is was.
expired.
We said that we would rescind the demolition order
If
in the event that sale was consummated,
last,
but we didn't do that.
Right.
So that order is still in place.
Oh, okay, I thought you said it
And
was.
it's only a forbearance that has kept us from going in there and doing.
Okay, you said it was expired, that's what I was going on.
Me too. You did say that.
So,
Yeah. We passed the demolition
what's
date
the-
requirement.
We're past the deadline for him to have done it under the original order.
right, now
Which
it
means
means
we can do it
changed,
at any
okay,
time.
so he's got 2 days to say whether he agrees to this or not. When would we, if he says no or doesn't, what should we do about the demolition order?
What do you think, Steve?
Give him a week to start, he said, when did he first get that order? How
How
many months ago?
July, I think.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, okay, so.
He had till the end of
I'm tired
September,
of
wasn't it?
this.
Yeah, I don't remember the dates off the top of my head, but we gave him a date to respond by,
Right,
which he asked for an extension, which I let you know, he asked for an extension, and then all of a sudden we were gonna buy it.
Uh-huh.
And then
So it's
through the negotiations of that is to where we are today.
Mhm.
I have never rescinded the order, so as far as I'm concerned, the order
Still
still
there?
stands.
Okay,
At this point, there is no date attached to it.
do we normally attach a date to it?
Yeah, with 90 days, wouldn't it?
We should attach another date to it.
Another 90 days?
No, I don't think it needs to be another 90 days
would
because
you
we've
say?
been, you know,
Yeah, it's already,
He's already done part of the
what
work.
would you suggest?
I thought we had a date that, which, we basically held off enforcing, but it
was
the
90 days.
time ran
It
out.
was 90 days.
90 days, he said 90 days is on the original.
I believe we gave him 90 days
And that's where,
to do something.
Right,
And that 90 days ended back in September, didn't it?
I believe it was September.
Yeah,
And
so
then
we're-
the whole month of October was negotiations about buying
Yeah,
it.
so we'll hold off because we're in negotiations, but
Right, because, yeah, I mean, I suppose we could have pushed and put another date to force the negotiations, but I guess in good faith, we said, let's just negotiate, see where it goes, which might have been a foot dragging tactic on his part.
yeah,
Um,
sure. Well,
I believe that you're on the right track of
That's great.
assigning a date for the offer that you're going to present to be good for 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, whatever. I would go no more than 5 days. 2 days, I don't know that if it matters, tomorrow is a federal holiday,
Right.
so maybe 2 days would end up actually being Thursday.
we can give until the end of the week, yeah.
You could give them till the end of the week.
That's easier.
Till Friday.
Yeah.
and what we're asking for is that he has a contract with a demolition company because, well, wait a minute, we can't,
No.
wait, can you just let me finish this? The question is, we can't say that the day of the 24th of January, that building will come down because no contractor will guarantee a date because of weather and circumstances.
No, I mean,
So-
what we have here is an offer to purchase, which includes being reimbursed for demolition costs. And there's nothing in this that would say he has to demolish it next week or next month.
Right.
With that, we're not buying
That'll
it
be
until
fun.
it's gone.
Another year.
The
Exactly.
discussion is whether he accepts this offer, not the discussion about when he has to tear it down. That's what our discussion is right now, and that's what the
That's what
5
your
days is.
discussion is right now.
And that's what the
but
5 days is,
That's what.
till Friday.
No, that's not what I hear.
No,
I know.
no contractor is going to put him into their
Exactly.
schedule
Right,
until they have an executed contract.
Correct.
right.
So somewhere in the contract, it should, maybe, will the contractor, the company say when they're gonna be working on it? Will they?
Yeah,
They should be able to
Well,
get a
but-
time frame.
right.
I think
Not
what we're
necessarily,
leaving
right?
out is the permit, that he has to get the permit.
What's that?
Well, he's
Yeah.
not gonna get a permit till he gives me a signed contract from a demolition company and a signed contract from an air monitoring company. I'm not gonna just give him a permit
Right.
because he
Right.
says he has a signed contract.
Exactly, we need to see these contracts, that's what.
And then the contractor's gonna have to provide me all their insurance documentation and all that stuff
Right.
and their asbestos certification.
Yep,
Once
We take it over.
it's gonna take time and then we have to get in, or he has to get into the contractor's schedule,
right,
the same as we would if we're taking it.
that's right.
Right, that's not-
And my only worry has been that he'll find some other way to keep wiggling. So what structure can we do from your point of view?
We could,
You can give him a determined amount of time to accept your
The-
offer.
Offer to buy it,
Don't accept any counter offers. This is it.
Right.
This is our offer.
Right,
Yep.
correct,
If you do not accept, we will proceed
correct. Like,
starting on Monday, whatever.
okay,
We could sign a contract with the contractor of our choice and it wasn't clear to me if that contractor would then reach out to the air monitoring company or if we would have to do that directly, but I'm sure that we would be the ones paying them and have to sign the contract with them. So
Yeah, it wasn't clear in his case either. Whether they would-
And I have recommendations of air monitoring contractors.
Mhm.
One of the demolition contractors actually provided me 2 names and phone numbers, and one of the other contractors said if we needed that information, they could get it for us. So, because they work with them all the time.
Maybe that's why the whole thing will end up going. If he balked at it.
Yep.
I don't
We'll
expect
take it
them
down
to, but I
themselves.
also want to have some assurance that, you know, that it is moving ahead.
So we need, that would be, he needs to come to Steve to get a permit. That would be the next
That's
step.
what.
He or his contracted
Right.
contractor.
So that should happen
Can we?
within a month
Right.
of signing of his accepting this, within 2 weeks with, you gotta name. Do you not want to put a time on it?
It would be nice to put a timeline on it, but I don't know that we can force that on the contractor to say that you have to get a permit and you have to work it into your schedule by this date.
Yeah, yeah.
For the contract.
Well, they could say we're not gonna start until March, I mean, that's, I'm not saying they have.
I mean, ultimately, if he, again, I'm
Would
not
that
a
be-
lawyer. I'm
would
not
that
a
be-
lawyer and I don't even play one on television, but it seems like if he agrees to your offer, that if he doesn't honor it within a reasonable time, that you could legally go after him for breach of contract. Again, that's gonna cost the town more money,
Yeah.
because the lawyer will be involved. but-
Mhm. So I
I
mean,
guess
this
if
is,
that happens, we'll just have another meeting.
well, I mean, do we care?
Do we what?
Do we care
Care?
about whether it gets demolished, you know, in the next month or something? As opposed to.
No, it's not gonna get demolished.
in the
No
spring.
contractors aren't gonna do that. The important
Well, it
part,
could happen, but we didn't
Sure,
know.
yeah.
it's highly unlikely, but I think the important part is that we have a contract with a date in the contract soon, and that we can more likely put some kind of a deadline on.
The contract you're talking about is the purchase.
No, no, no. This time I'm talking about the contract with the contractor who would take it down. The contractor, the
Okay,
contract that
how
could
do you
include.
propose that we make him give us the date of make a contract with with
Well,
the.
He
Steve will
has
see
to do
the
it to
contract.
get it to him.
Steve will
That's-
see the
this is-
contract.
He can't get the permit until he has that contract.
And when.
So we
Steve
can
gets
add to the
permit, maybe we could
contract
have
within.
another
with-
Information session.
Now, that's the contract. Maybe that's a month for a contract. Is that,
Yeah.
is 2 weeks or 3 or a month, 4 weeks?
How about if we just do this and then if there's a problem, if he doesn't respond by Friday,
Right.
or he says no, we'll have another meeting.
Yep,
Oh, we're gonna have it a week after that anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'll be our next meeting.
Right.
a week, you mean the next Monday,
Yeah, what's a week from today,
today? Yeah.
next Monday.
Yeah, okay.
So
we
we'll
should
know,
stop-
we'll know in a week if he, by.
Right.
Whether he accepts the offer or not.
And maybe if he sent them a contract to be signed, you'd think he would have made a copy of it, right?
Well, I mean, that would just sort of demonstrate that he,
To demonstrate the cost.
yeah.
And can-
But I mean,
Improvement,
the
not-
contract is contingent upon the house being gone. So I mean, we can't close on it, so to speak, if he accepts the offer
I'm
until the
talking about
demolition
his
happens.
contract with the contractor.
Well, I mean, I'm not the,
So we'll talk about it Monday if it's.
I suppose you could, you could actually consummate the deal without the house being removed yet, if there's all the permits are in place and he's got, the contract to do it. Is that what you're suggesting?
that's what I thought we were doing. We can't pick the date that it's going to be demolished.
No, but we could wait until the demolition before we close the deal and buying the property.
You mean before we give him any money?
Right.
Do you think we should give him money before it's done?
No,
That's what I'm suggesting that we not do. So the fact that it's a demo cost plus, well, I mean, if he could demonstrate that he's under contract and has the permits to take the house out, could we then buy the property? Do we
No.
wait till the house is gone?
I think
gone.
Yeah.
we need to wait,
So it's a post demo and removal purchase.
yeah.
Okay,
Well, that's one way to get him to do something if he's, unless he turns around and finds somebody else in the meantime.
There's no way.
There are plenty of.
I don't think we need to worry much about that. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it.
And you know, your closing. Your closing is gonna be based on when Guy can work it into his schedule to
Okay.
do the closing.
There's
So
that too.
Well, we could
you
also
know,
have somebody else do the closing. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
We could, yeah. Also an option.
The number can't, yeah.
Mhm. So, okay,
Okay,
all right, I'll ask her to move expeditiously on this part. I don't know why she didn't show up one.
is that gonna be contingent on whether we give her money?
I don't think so, but,
Good.
but
no.
it'd been good to talk to her about all these things here and now. And,
Do we need to talk about that? About whether or not,
well, I mean, if you'd like to talk about it, I mean, I certainly would like to have something resolved about it. But I'm a little uncomfortable trying to represent her. You know, in our discussions, when it'd be better if she were here to make her own case, but.
Well, she's
why would
not,
she make, you know, we did not hire her.
right,
We have no contract with her.
right.
She's working with somebody, for somebody else. And we, as far as I'm concerned, we've had nobody helping us, really. And I know that your time, her time maybe is an issue, but that's time that she chose to spend, you know, talking with you or whoever else.
Right.
She would-
She was not working for us.
She would argue that she was working for us.
She was not working for us.
No
We
official
never
contract.
hired her.
That's
Hmm?
correct.
We did not
Right.
hire her.
That's
We
correct.
I'm trying to represent what she said now, you know, she would argue that there's a verbal contract made with me to provide these services to the town as a consultant, not as part of the sale, as sort of the lead up to the sale. And
But the board did not approve that.
that's true.
So it has not been approved by the town.
I mean, you know, if it's a contract for professional services, I can do contracts for professional services, you know, up to a reasonable amount of money without coming to the board. Under $1,000 even.
I feel like we have gotten nothing out of, I mean, I don't feel
Right.
like there's been anybody fighting for us.
Right.
Or in everything, it's gone back and forth, it comes back, every time it comes back, it's not to our benefit. We did not agree to have her represent to us or anything. I'm sorry if she spent a lot of time talking with you. But this is, no, I absolutely, I mean, no. That's my opinion.
Yeah, my opinion was if she really wants to make the case, she needs to make the case to the board, and I made, you know, this is an option. I also offered her originally, I was gonna bring this to the meeting on the 17th. And I can still do that, you know, and then you can talk to her. But
thought
what
she
I
was
will
gonna be
tell
here
her.
today.
Maybe that's,
Was she gonna be here today? Or
I think she
maybe-
told me she could make it, but she's not.
Right.
So I mean, what I will tell her is that there, based on what we, on preliminary conversations here, the board is disinclined to agree that that's a reasonable charge. She doesn't have to make the case herself.
Well, and I'm sorry if she, you know, if you sort of felt like she was helping. I mean, I know that you spent a lot of time talking with her.
Definitely helped.
What did she help? He could have,
She did. She did.
he hired her. She worked for him.
right, she worked for him. That's right.
And so let him pay her. I mean,
Yeah, well, I mean, that's where I thought we were.
No, you were at half at one point, but
Well, no, I mean, with the appraisal, I proposed when I first approached Raphael and we talked the whole range of things that were available to him at that time. It was like, you could do the asbestos remediation yourself, and then you wouldn't have to hire it done. That didn't happen, was the house salvageable or not? We talked that through to, consensus is, based on everything else. No, it's not. Okay, so it needs to come out. We talked about, the town's interest in acquiring the property. Well, and how do we determine a fair price? I proposed that, well, you're gonna want what you can get out of it, and we don't want to overpay for it.
So this
So-
is you talking to him.
This is me talking to him in the
Okay.
beginning. And I suggested to him that it might be reasonable to hire an appraiser, an outside, person
Uh-huh.
to come up with a value for the property that then we would use as a basis for sale. We, the town would be agreed to be bound by what an appraiser came up with, and he would be agreed to be bound by what the
Well,
appraiser
that
came
didn't
up with
happen.
also. And then it came down to a question of how do we find an appraiser? That's where the ball got handed to Bintu. She,
So did you hire her?
I didn't think I did, but she heard me commissioning her to do this thing where she provided a list of potential appraisers. And then from my side, I said, well, I'll go check and see what, I contacted Adam Cartman, with whom I had just talked with, just for a recommendation on who he suggests. The person he suggested was on their list, so I said, well, let's go with her, forget her name. When she was approached, she said she wasn't willing to appraise.
Right, with yeah.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I proposed doing,
So-
before and after appraisal, and she was only willing to do an after. Okay.
Right.
So they said, well, that doesn't work, because if we're gonna do an as is, then you need.
So
another.
how,
So we found-
bottom line is, how would have been to work for, I mean, besides talking with you about what the options were and stuff, was anybody, maybe the property owner should have been doing that, but she worked for him
Correct.
and,
Well, that's kind
You
of
know,
my
so-
thought was, why did you send me to her? Because that's what happened. He sent me to her. So I said,
Right.
okay, so now I'm dealing with her
Which-
on his behalf. That was
No,
my
yeah.
presumption.
A lot of this is unfortunate.
Yeah.
It happened.
It
It
is.
should not have happened. We should never have been dealing, it should have been much more straightforward, and you shouldn't have been doing the negotiating. It's just not, I
Well,
think that you
who
think
else?
it is. Well, this is a person that he could present to the board himself. I mean, it
well,
just,
the negotiation makes sense. Somebody has to do it, and the supervisor can, it's.
well, not all of
They
it.
can,
Just-
so he can, do that, but the monetary exchange is a different matter.
Yeah, I mean, if I thought, I did, it was a verbal agreement for the arrangement with the appraiser, the way that we'll split the cost. That was a verbal agreement, and I acknowledge that. The rest of it, though, is like, she asserts that, I commissioned her, use that word, commissioned her. I don't remember saying that.
The town did not,
Yeah,
I don't know,
So-
let her.
at this point, I
The
mean,
board said no, and if there's a problem, she can come
yeah,
beg her case.
It certainly sounds much more like she was bringing information from the person she was working for, and trying to get something for him through
something to work. Yeah.
for him, through us. And that's what realtors do.
Yes, and that's what I thought was
So
happening.
she is his realtor.
Yeah, she's saying, she's saying this all,
negotiating
this,
For him, with
Yes.
us.
that's what that was my presumption.
As far as I'm concerned, she did us no favors.
I
But if
couldn't
she,
agree more.
but that's how it works. If she is working for the client, she's
So,
doing her job,
Yeah,
which is not our job.
And I understand your feeling about the time that she spent chatting with you, talking with you, and whatever, but.
but she's
And
saying,
you can
yeah,
blame it on the board saying no.
Well, besides, that is a realtor's job. It's not,
yeah,
and there, some negotiations happen within 24 hours. Some of them take months and months, and they get the same money no matter
Mhm,
what.
mhm.
There is no,
or no money.
or
if it
no
doesn't work
money.
out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where she is. That is not on us. That's on, I'm sorry, but I think it's on her. It's her choice that she decided
Yeah.
to
and
carry
she's-
on with.
Yeah, and
this.
she's saying that she wasn't doing this in a realtor capacity. She
I
was
don't-
doing she was acting as a consultant to all its, because then it's professional
Well, then
services.
it's a consultant to him as well, no matter
Yeah,
what.
does it-
We
yeah,
could have
doesn't
found a
matter.
different consultant. I mean, who says we would have gone with the consultant that he had?
Right.
Yeah, the
don't
only
think
reason
so.
I interacted with her in the first place was because he sent me to her. That's, it was like,
This is the person I'm working with.
we had that original discussion and then he said, let me think about it. And he says, talk to Bintu. Okay, so that's what I did. So Bintu's take it, dealing with this on your behalf. That
Right.
was my presumption. And,
Yeah.
said, well, it started out that way, but that was not, there was more there. So at this point, she can see that, should have had some of the stuff in writing, it would have been rather, then it was a mistake not to have done it. It sure was.
Yeah,
Okay,
'cause I mean, I would have said no.
well, I might have too if I'd understand it was
Right.
a contract. I would say, why should we do that? I suppose, I was dealing Raphael
That's-
directly.
She's gonna, help him get, the best deal he can and
And that's
drag
sort
us
of what I
out.
presumed was that she was acting on his behalf and not as a sort of
Right.
a broker for both trying to get.
right. The
Well, I mean-
property is owned by him. I mean, it's.
That's right, that's right,
I'm
And
sorry.
brokers do these things. They try to find a deal that works for both parties.
Wait, that's who, what?
The brokers do these things. So well, you could have had a buyer's agent. Well, I suppose we could have had a buyer's agent plus a seller's agent. But, if you try to work a deal,
Right,
if you're dealing with a seller's agent, of course, they're gonna try to get the best deal for the seller. Presume that was the case.
right, right.
Yeah, and-
Well, I think
Makes
she has to
sense.
present, I think we could talk about it forever, but I
Yeah.
think she has to present a case for why. And
Mhm.
I don't wanna hear it.
I don't want to, I don't want to,
I don't want to hear it.
oh,
But
being, have her
anyway.
here.
Yeah, but
Well, she can.
She can, and she
submit her
wants.
bill.
Yeah.
And if it, can we just don't approve it? I mean,
Well,
that's
yeah.
another option.
Yeah.
It's a bill that she presented, that she made up, that she
And
said.
what I'm gonna tell her is that if you want to be paid, then you need to make a case, because right now the board's unwilling.
Well, what's the difference if she presents a bill and we just don't approve it? I mean, what's the difference?
The difference is that she has the opportunity to make a case for why we should. That's the only difference.
well, I would start with the board says no,
Right,
Yeah,
instead of the other way,
yeah.
but I guess you can always try and make a case, but the
Mhm.
board says no.
Yeah. Okay, I think you pretty much agree with you.
Yes.
Okay. That is all of the business on the agenda for today. So, meeting adjourned. Thanks.
so you want to put these papers in there for handout? That'll be ready.